Well, hello guys, or Rodney. So, I just came back from doing my testimonial for my baptism, and I figured I would chime in and just kind of, this may never be a thing, but at least I'm talking and getting my thoughts out there. I want to write right now, but I'm driving back to work, and my work is very lucky and blessed to be where I'm at. And what I mean by that is at the company I work for, who I've had 2 months off, and they're willing to let me on a Saturday because it's important to me to leave that sales floor, which I don't even talk about that kind of thing in these videos, but to leave the sales floor when I'm needed to do my testimonial for the baptism I'm going to have next week. And I sit here and wonder, did I say the right thing? Did I say enough? Should I've said this? Should I've said that? And I got to thinking, and that's what led me into this video, that what I said was enough. And it was exactly what I was supposed to say. I didn't rehearse this for a reason. I wanted to be off the cuff. And I keep thinking, should I have said, my clean time? Should I have talked about other things? And I think that I said exactly what I was supposed to say. I know that. I don't regret it. For some weird reason, I was a little nervous. I don't know why. Usually I'm not nervous, but it's a big step and it's a big deal. And I'm just grateful. I felt it's interesting. I felt I can't quite figure it out, different this morning, and not in a good way, but not in a bad way, just maybe indifferent. I don't even know the word, because I don't think I felt indifferent, and I don't think I felt, I didn't feel like super grateful this morning, but I'm grateful. I know it's a practice, and there are going to be days, and I think these last couple of days I've definitely felt stressed. I got the birthdays coming up, and I got to book this party, and it's not like I have a ton of money yet, because I believe that I will have. I do well, and I'll do well enough at least. And I'm still catching up. And I keep thinking about, like, maybe I shouldn't have bought this, or maybe I shouldn't have paid for the this, and really everything that's happening is happening exactly the way it's supposed to. And that phrase, it's not happening exactly the way I want it to, but it's definitely happening exactly the way I need it to. And there's a lot of want it to's in there, and then there's a couple like, would do this different or that different, but if I could go back to the day I walked into treatment, maybe if I could go back to the day that I stopped using, and then the day that I walked into treatment, or even the day that, like, I drove to Rainier Springs, and then drove from Rainier Springs, with I can play that day, because that was the day that I stopped. I can play that day so vividly in my head, how I felt like this isn't going to happen, how I felt like I remember driving, and the Eminem album was out, And I just kept taking all of those songs like he was talking about me, and that's, you know, my self-centeredness and all that, you know, and I do that when I start taking music and thinking it's made for me. I took a song that was made from an artist who's dead, Turn the Page by Bob Seger, and I listened to it and I replaced the driving with the drugs, and I felt at that time like he wrote that for me. And I'm not referring to him being dead, but what I'm referring to is that song was written probably before I was born. He doesn't know me, I don't know him, and we'll never know each other. I won't know anybody he knows. And yet that song was like, so it's so interesting that I can take something either being today or something that was written so long ago and take some weird ownership over it. And you know, it's going to take a lot of time for that not to be the case. But in the meantime, I'm doing all the stuff I need to do to better my life, to change my life, to improve my life. And, you know, it's all for serenity. It's all for my children. It's all to do the things that I thought not too long ago would ever happen now. You know, not too long ago I thought to myself, you're never going to get back to where you were. Not too long ago I thought to myself, nobody's going to help you. Nobody's coming. You're all alone. I'd say it so many times. You know, they talk about the disease, right? My disease is talking, and, you know, I don't know what other, you know, research or whatever psychologists or psychiatrists or doctors or whatever they classify it as. You know, we label it with disease. I've labeled it darkness, and it's that side of me that's opposite to my higher power. It talks to me in my head, and then I talk out loud, repeating what it said. That lets me beat on myself. That lets me tell me I'm not worth it. That lets me tell me it's over. You're too old. You'll never get past this. You'll never defeat this. You'll never get through it. This right here is what you're always going to be. This right here is how you're always going to feel. So you might as well deal with it, because it ain't going to change. You can have years clean. I'm coming back no matter what. That's who you are. You want to accept something? Accept that. That's what happens. And then there's this voice in my head that tells me it's okay. It's okay to be okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay. I got you. That I'll never leave you. And I need you to stand. That you're worth it. That they need you. That you are a good dad. That you do want to help others, not just yourself. And that you have something. That same voice is the same thing that wakes me up in the morning and tells me you're alive. Let's do this. There is nothing that anybody can't get through. And if you do decide that you're ready, and you're ready to take those steps, and you're ready to work your ass off, and you're ready to push yourself and ask for help and take suggestions. Do whatever you got to do to change your life. It'll happen for you too. So next week I'm getting baptized because I have made a decision to turn my life and my will over to the care of my higher power, to the care of God. And I made that decision so long ago that even in my dark times, my higher power was there to give me some kind of comfort that gave me the ability to just not run away, to just not kill myself, to just not disappear. And so as I go on this journey, and I continue this journey daily, sometimes every minute, sometimes every second, whatever it takes, I realize that I can get through this because I got through that and I'm still alive. I can make it to the next day. I can make it to not getting loaded because I got through that. Whether it's a bad relationship of unmanageability and toxicity, or it's treating myself terribly, or it's going to a place that I'm so afraid of, but I show up and everything that I'm expecting to happen is happening, and then some. And getting in my car after all of that, looking in the mirror and telling myself, you're not going to cry, you're not going to act defeated, you're going to just take it and continue to drive home so you can go back tomorrow and do it all over again. And now I don't have to live that way. And I feel so much better in these 80 days or 79 days, or, in this amount of time. Almost, it's almost 3 months. And what's cool is these last couple of days I haven't counted the days. And usually, we're counting the day. Every day we're looking at that ticker. And now I don't have to really. I just know that all I got to do is what I'm doing right now, and these days are going by. It almost feels like I'm carpe diem each day. Carpe diem doesn't have to be, filled with gold explosions and excitement. It can just be that you made it clean through the day. It can just be that you made your bed and stayed clean and made a meeting. Or it can be that you did so well in activity, so well at work, so well with your kids, so well with your higher power, so well, and you look back and you're like, man, I did that all fucking today. It doesn't have to be that, but you'll get those too if you just stick to it. You will get there too if you just stick to it. You'll have some really good days, and then carpe diem will be that fucking day that fucking everything fucking sucks and you stayed clean. You seized the fucking day by doing that. So I love you, Rodney. And anybody watching this, if there's somebody watching this, if it's even a thing, I don't even know you and I love you. Because that's what fucking somebody told me that I just met minutes ago, and I didn't know them. And they meant that shit. Love is a spiritual principle in Narcotics Anonymous as well. It's not just gratitude and acceptance. Love is a spiritual principle. It's an action. It ain't a feeling. You love people. love yourself.